What's going on, guys? So I'm back with another procreate process video. I'm gonna stop naming them because it's effort to come up with names, and most of them don't have names anyway. They're just things that I kind of thought were cool. This was a speed painting I did. I'm quite proud of it, but at the same time, I always have this feeling that I'm proud of something, I like something, and then I'd realize I don't have enough of it, and I don't have enough pieces like this. So I was going through a stage where I was using very solid brush strokes for everything, kind of like using a sort of cell shaded style, but not so much that it seems like an animation. More so, just it looks painted, but very, very thick strokes. And I went through this stage for probably only about a week, really, maybe 2 weeks. Before this, I remember distinctly because I went through stages using Procreate, trying to figure out different ways to make things that I thought were cool. So it was before this, it was just using the round brush and pressing down really hard, so it seemed like everything was heavy strokes. And then it was like, oh well, I might as well just use a thick painting brush like this, just high opacity. As you can see, I started this out. She didn't have her eyes open, but she was smiling. She looked kind of dignified. You know, Still kind of looking beautiful, but then also looking kind of muscular. I went for that on purpose. I didn't want her to be like this skinny woman. I wanted her to be like godlike, like she's kind of the perfection of what a woman should be, kind of thing. And that's subjective, but that was one of the things that I was trying to go for. You know, um, so obviously, as I said before in one of my previous videos, I try and do a lot of black characters. So yet again, I've tried to do a black character, just because I do think there's a lack of representation. I'm just trying to do a few more. Yeah, I mean, there are differences between black and white characters, and I think one of the key differences is the afro. But not just the afro. That's something I love to draw, but there's just a few elements that make the characters different, different bone structures, different kind of like facial shapes, colors. But for the most part, I've been trying to kind of get the afro right for a long time, and this one isn't really that dynamic overall, but it is an afro. This is kind of just a bushy going down afro. It's not a going up afro. But at the same time, the next one might be something a little bit more dynamic. The theme for this image was kind of like I wanted this Olympic or this Olympian goddess, but obviously she's kind of got an afro, so she's not one of the main Olympian gods. She's probably a different, she's probably from a different pantheon, but I wanted this kind of idea. She wears this robe and it's really bright, or she's just a villager somewhere. Whatever, it doesn't matter. In the end, it is what it is. It just ends up becoming whatever it becomes. And you'll see I've already added kind of like my highlights, my midtones, my shadows. I've added ambient light color to my shadows. I've added kind of strong look. I want areas where my light's gonna go, and I've put subsurface scattering colors around my light area, so when I finally end up glowing it, it has this really glowed strong look. I went for putting her hair just in her afro, just like she's got that much hair that her arm can just disappear in it, her hand can just disappear into it. And I thought that was a cool thing. I had her doing this kind of smile, and I end up raising her eyebrows just so the smile looks less competitive and more happy. How I do afro hair, I just make lots of little shapes, and I end up using an overlay layer to kind of add some light to it and glow it up. But I put the layer underneath, I think underneath the strokes, and it has this really interesting kind of deep look to it, which I did like, and I'll be doing again. But it's interesting rewatching these and then doing a voiceover to these, because it makes me realize that I need to do something like this again. So I'll probably do something like this today, and you might be seeing another voiceover for something like this pretty soon, but I'm not sure. But that has been the piece. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Share it, helps me get off the ground, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you and peace.